Welcome to Modern Management of the Older Adult, brought to you by the Institute of Clinical Excellence.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the MMOA podcast. My name is Kay Mayordomo. I am an outpatient physical therapist in Northern California, and I'm a TA with the Older Adult Division of the Institute of Clinical Excellence. So today we are going to talk about, do you need a residency to get better at treating older adults? To preface, I do want to mention that I did do a year-long residency, an ortho residency, complete with live patient exams, written tests, mentorship, which is honestly the best part about residency, presentations, more tests. So although I really do value my experience with residency and being able to run cases by someone in real time to help me with my clinical reasoning, do I think it's for everyone? Not necessarily. Residency means you pretty much have to have it available where you live, or you have to relocate for it in most cases. Some have to take a huge pay cut, although at my company it isn't that big of a pay cut, but it still really made it hard to live in the Bay Area, especially having student loans. So if you're coming off of having student loans, it kind of stinks, honestly. And it's a pretty big time commitment. For our ortho residency, we did 40-hour work weeks, which included the mentorship and the discussions we had with our mentors. We had 5 weekends of our own Con Ed courses / modules packed into 5 months. Things to read called monographs, which have all the latest info about orthopedic cases. There's one for each pretty much body region, body part. Written tests to study for, presentations to prep for, and things really didn't start to make sense because there was just so much going on. It didn't start to make sense until I had time to breathe afterwards. So, but do I think that it helped me become the clinician I am? Absolutely. Of course it did. It got me to pretty much come up with hypotheses, test those hypotheses, be able to do interventions, and then retest to see if those interventions helped. So yeah, of course it helped me become the clinician I am. I definitely don't discount that. Do I think that there are other avenues to consider if you can't give the huge time commitment that residency, I almost lost my voice this week, so bear with me. But do I think that there are other avenues to consider if you can't give this time commitment or have already done a residency in a different specialty and can't imagine doing another one to get good at treating older adults? Absolutely. So there are definitely other avenues to consider if you've already done these things, or if you need something to just bridge that gap that you have with treating older adults. So today we are going to go over why you don't necessarily need a residency to get better at treating older adults and how MMOA can fit into that role for you. So if you are somebody who has already done a residency, but you feel like you continue to need help with interventions or choosing the right tests and measures for your older adults to continue to track progress, or you've been practicing for a while and want the latest research on treating older adults, MMOA has you covered. So, first point, you can go at your own pace. Taking MMOA courses means that you do not have to commit to a year long of intensive stuff at every week, every hour of your day. You can take the material at your own pace and make sure you're practicing what you learn with your patients week to week. Don't get me wrong, you still have to choose a good time to commit to online courses because online assignments still require time. But you can plan it accordingly depending on a potentially slower part of your year. So maybe not during the summer because you know your family's going to travel a lot, or maybe not the beginning of the year. But yeah, you get to choose. And instead of letting a video play in the background to get CEUs, you are truly engaging in the material to practice what you are learning. So it's not just like, oh, let me watch this Con Ed or this video and just get credit for it and not really learn anything. But yeah, you can definitely go at your own pace. 2, you may not want all the paperwork and the time commitment needed for residency. Residency comes with paying for the board specialization exam, which honestly, shout out to everyone who just took it and passed. That is not an easy feat to get done with residency, study for this exam, and sit there for hours to get your board certification. But yeah, so residency comes with paying for that specialization exam, almost $2,000 just to take the test. Then you'll have to fill out some paperwork alongside that. But yeah, maybe I'm biased, but MMY does a great job packing a lot of practical material into each 8-weeker online course and into our live courses. You're pretty much learning how to treat older adults with details on training principles, intentional underdosage, which, I mean, both of those things definitely have transferability to other patients as well, not just older adults. You will get good at treating older adults who have arthritis, who have neurological conditions, who have cognitive decline, who have osteoporosis, who are masters athletes. So pretty much you are learning how to treat older adults pretty much at every level, which is important because you have to know how to scale from the person who is super, super deconditioned up into the master's athlete. So it gives you a really, it's really a practical way to get good at treating these adults. It's when you take the live course, MMY Live, you are going in there and practicing each movement yourself so that you know exactly what it feels like. You're given practical material that you can utilize Monday after you take the course to truly have an impact on your older adult population. It's really a great way to have practical tests and measures and interventions that you can utilize with your older adult patients the following day after the weekend. Sure, taking Con Ed courses doesn't have the type of mentorship that you get with residency, but you literally have a whole community of people committed to improving the way we treat older adults that you can ask questions from in our MMY community. Also, during our online courses, you get feedback from the faculty to see if your thought processes for programming are sound, whether the interventions you chose are appropriate for that particular patient population, whether you're underdosing them too much, whether you're overdosing things. So you definitely get feedback to make sure everything makes sense. You learn how to utilize blood pressure or like measure blood pressure, heart rate to make sure that is in a good, like that is within normal in terms of maybe patients who have cardiovascular problems, because sometimes it can be scary. It can be scary with the patients who have more comorbidities and more issues on board. But if you have the knowledge on how to make sure you are challenging them appropriately, but also safely, that is so, so important in our practice. So, I mean, something we learn with ICE courses is that sometimes it's about getting people healthier. It's about moving more to desensitize pain, to improve function, to inspire people to get moving. Sure, Con Ed doesn't necessarily have the details that residency does. I mean, residency is a year-long process, but did it light a fire under me to do something more than just treating older adults, just more than just ankle pumps, more than just like, I don't know, mini squats or something? Of course it did. In a day and age where we have a lack of movement problem, addressing the big picture is so, so important, especially after you address someone's pain and put out that fire. We need to make sure that these older adults continue to make progress and are continuing to thrive as they get older. So if you want something that you can implement in real time and focus on how to improve your interventions with all types of older adults and be super in the know with all the latest research, MMY has got you. You can go at your You can go at your own pace, meaning you don't have to take all of the courses consecutively, but you can, like I did, because I was super excited about the material. You could avoid the paperwork and time commitment needed for a residency. And you will have access to a whole community of people who are also committed to improving the way we treat older adults that you can ask questions from when you get stuck. Hopefully I didn't ruffle too many feathers today. Obviously, going through residency myself, I think there's huge value to this, especially if you haven't quite gotten your clinical reasoning skills like perfected and everything. It's huge to have somebody pretty much sit with you and be like, hey, what do you think is going on? What are you going to test today? That kind of thing. It's definitely a huge value. But if you have things that don't allow you to pursue a residency, there's definitely other avenues to explore when you are deciding what to do in your career to get better. Residency can add to the huge student loan burden that we have. It can add to time commitment issue that we have, which could lead to burnout. But honestly, it was good. It was really a good experience. It's just, if you have these issues on board, there are definitely other avenues for you to explore. So I would really love to hear what you guys thought or what you guys think about this, especially people who may have done a geriatric residency, because I did an ortho one, so obviously that's a little bit different. But yeah, I would love to hear if you've done a geriatric residency and have taken MMOA. What do you think are the pros and cons of each? Is there something you would have done differently? Give me your thoughts, especially for the people who might be a little on the fence about doing a residency. Would love to hear anyone's thoughts who has gone through one themselves. So lastly, if you are interested in taking an MMOA live class, we have a couple of classes coming up. So MMOA Live will be taking place July 13th to 14th in Virginia Beach, Virginia. July 20th to 21st in Victor, New York, and July 27th and 28th at Ellen's Clinic in Littleton, Colorado, where we'll be having our MMOA Summit, and all of us will be there. So hope to see you guys at the summit. I really hope I didn't ruffle too many feathers, but I just want you guys to know that there are definitely other options to get better at what you do rather than just pursuing a residency. All right. Thank you for your time. I'll see you all soon. Have a good night.
Thank you for listening to the MMOA podcast. If you found this helpful, please share with someone that could benefit. And if you're looking for more practical content to help you better serve older adults, head over to www.mmoa.online, where you can learn more about our free resources, our community, continuing education courses, and our certification. Once again, that's www.mmoa.online. Thanks for listening.